Hello everyone, we're going to do a quick stream here. We're in the region of Vallenhas, which is how Neverwinter chose to use the Descent into Avernus book and make it a big part of things. And we're going to start jumping right into things here with fighting in what's called a big heroic encounter, or BHE. We're taking on this soul-infused Barlagura. And I saw it and I said, you know what, this is just a good time before my next piece of work I've got to do. We have some fun with this. Barlagura has this enormous arm with a spiked end on it, and send everyone flying. Kind of cool. Not going to do too much fighting here. It's just kind of great. Look at this big red zone. It smashes down on us, stuns us. Yeah, and so what we're going to do in this stream, we're going to show you the area around Vallenhas estate. You saw the last stream that I was doing. I took this warlock of mine and did the introductory quest to get started. Learned all about how the family is. This family made a deal with devils, and so the whole estate, you can see off the distance here, was brought into Avernus, the first layer of hell, and is being dragged down by huge chains. And if it gets there all the way and the wizards can't protect against the attacking devils, then that will be the end of them. They will all be cursed and corrupted and taken away by the devils. So there's this big shield here, and we talked about this keep being dragged in, the two brothers that are NPCs, and we deal with them. So there are a number of things to do. You just saw the big heroic encounter, which pops up in this area here. That is pretty cool. Then there are a number of quests that you can do. Some are simple things that get teeth from hellhounds and so on, but let's just take a look at the environment of the game. Sometimes when I run a tabletop D&D game, I want to think, what in my mind, how can I visualize what the land looks like? And so, we talked about before these two maps, the Stronghold Map and then the Avernus version that we're in right now. Those, what this is all about is the corruption of this area, right? Of this former castle being dragged into hell, and it's a pretty cool way to do things, because you got things like citizens here who are trapped behind this door, and devils are trying to get to them because they lived out in the outskirts beyond where the shield has been erected by the Vallenhas nobility to save the castle, but these people need to be helped, and so we're freeing them, and they can run out apparently right into a group of devils. So you have quests like that make it a little more tangible of an experience. The moat is all dry instead of being filled with water. It has dead adventurers in it that rise up when you first walk by, so someone wants to run by and they rose up there ready to do battle. You have tipped over carts and things like that. This is a warehouse structure, and it's been taken over by devils, and they come through roaming and causing trouble. And then I'm going to hop over here to free another set of these. So yeah, these quests try to underscore the idea of what's happened, and it's a kind of fun thing idea. There have been some third-party products that are really good, Fall of Elturel, that make the experience of running the Descent into Avernus adventure a bit more tangible and better, because it makes more sense when you know why you're doing a thing. Why are you involved in this big adventure, in this quest? And why would you take on horrible things like Glabrezu and Barlaguras and horrible creatures like that? What might you find in the waste? So I like what Neverwinter did here. I think it's really this idea of taking a place that you have some stake in, or that is recognizable to you, or you identify with, and showing that corruption of the land. There is this dry dust that's all over the place. You can see on the screen, it kind of flows by, this endless dust. The grass is dying away. There are rituals being conducted. So like over here, this is a minor heroic encounter involving summoning of devils that are then going to attack the place, and you can work to stop that. They did some neat things here where they put some areas where special monsters will come up, and they'll rise and do battle with you, and there can be sort of semi-unique, like there's only one of them at a time walking around the map, creatures, and they have loot that they drop that's kind of neat. But that kind of thing is pretty, makes it more interesting. We're gonna go over here and see, look at how cool this is, the way that the ground has been cracked away and floating away under these huge chains, dragging the pieces off. Alphastream just walking around there, all kinds of bad things here. And yeah, just, the way you move through these broken areas of land is a really cool take. And there are still some structures that are isolated, but they're surrounded by devils, and you can imagine all kinds of adventures that you do in a tabletop game that free the people there. Here's a good detail of these different flying, floating pieces. Really very cool what that looks like. One of the early quests you do takes place over here. There's what's called a Glyph Works that allows you to transport from one area to another. And so you activate that, giving you rapid travel around the map. Let's skirt by these guys. We're not going to do much fighting. Just gonna showing you what that looks like. The high above Avernus, so somewhere down below is the actual layer. Here's that glyph work that you can use to travel back to your keep. You get a feel for what this looks like. Cracked, barren. Trees are gonna die shortly. Here's another heroic encounter where you can protect the. I'm getting attacked. Protect someone who's in that structure, the wagon. We are kind of up above here, but we can actually jump down, and I should be able to survive the fall. Yep. Just to another area. So this whole village is, as it says, besieged in this area of the map. I'll show you where we are right here. And there's a recurring quest that takes place around here. So it's kind of fun. You can picture what this looks like. And one of the really neat areas we're going to go to here is where you can see Zariel's structure, her kind of keep, floating in the distance. I guess it's only here during what's called the siege event. So we can't see it now, but in the previous adventure I showed an image of it. Let me see if I can show it here. It was in the beginning of part 1. And I'll show it to you now. So when we looked at this part 1, this is what it looks like. So the area that I'm in becomes a battleground with siege weapons that we're using to attack Zariel's fortress. And Zariel is inside of that big fortress at that time. You are able to later fight Zariel. That's sort of the way the end of the campaign takes place. It's a little bit like that Icewind Dale video that I shared. You can fight and take her on, and that battle ends somewhat like the adventure, so I'm not going to discuss it in any great detail. But it's pretty neat to see this area filled with siege catapults. It's also the kind of thing that really tricks players. So in this siege, you have catapults, and you have huge amounts of devils that keep spawning. And if you kill the devils, in theory, if you killed enough of them, you could win by just doing that. But it's a very, very slow thing, and you're probably not going to succeed. What you actually have to do is have a couple people push the catapults into place so they can lob their ammo at Avernus, and then she's forced to send a lieutenant, and then you can fight the lieutenant and dispatch him. And a lot of players have been doing this for a really long time and somehow don't seem to grasp that that's what you need to do, is work with the ballistas, but so it goes. This is one of the locations where you can speak with Etrienne. She's not here currently for me, but I'll later unlock her. She was an NPC that we met last time. But it's really cool. I think the way these chains are, hopefully this is fuel for you as either player or a dungeon master to think through what it's like in Descent into Avernus when you have these kinds of situations, place being dragged into hell, what it might look like. Really quite cool. There's another area where a special NPC can spawn, but not today. So yeah, so that's really what this looks like. And next time we're gonna jump ahead. There are a whole number of quests, like there is here, to free people, things like that. I'm not going to go into great detail on that. The quests are fine. They're neither good nor bad. They're just there. And you do these things and you progress in the campaign storyline. It's all fine. Nothing that I'd particularly say is immense inspiration for your campaign. So what we'll do next is we'll go to part 2, or really, yeah, depending on how I look at it. So the next major part of content that just was released, where you go into the Waste of Avarice. So at this point, for this character, I'm going to come here to a safe area. If I look at the map, there is for Avernus just this one location. So next time we're going to see how you unlock the next places. Though probably what I'll do in between is I'm going to upload a video I'd taken a while back when I wasn't, I took a break from streaming to focus on important issues of the day and settle down with COVID, which I'm still doing. I recorded the battle with Bell, and we can do a little more. Can you fall off the edge? Question in chat. Hey, how you doing? Yes, you can indeed fall off the edges. Maybe I'll show you that because it's kind of funny. Everybody, I think, in chat in the first few days would confess to having tried to jump on the chains or walk along the chains, and I did indeed try that as well. It does not go well, but I'll show you what it looks like. But yeah, so when we do the a lot of imps around here, they're gonna want to fight me. So when you are when we're going to do the next part, which is fighting Bell. Bell is actually there's some fun lore that's been talked about how Zariel came to be, and her story, or the story of Avernus, includes both Tiamat, who has at times been a ruler of Avernus, Bell, who is the former ruler, the most previous ruler, and who's trying to become the ruler again, but Zariel took over. And all this is from Asmodeus. So here I am at the edge. There's that really sweet chain, and you're like, yeah, I'm just going to jump on that chain. No. And you are dead. But you do fall for some amount of time, which I appreciate. I always like that they let you fall for a while, and then you get brought back to a zone. Yeah, so next time I will upload a video later on to show you what it looks like when you fight Bell. It can also be a confusing thing for groups. So knowing the tactics of that is kind of important, because you spawn literally lava under your feet, and that's the trick of it. So we'll share that, and then the next time we do a live one, we will go through the second part of the adventure where we get to meet a Holophant. So thanks for folks. Again, as always, if you have any questions, you can hit me up on Twitter at Alphastream. You can always find my work on the DM's Guild. Lots of adventures there for you, and feel free to also drop by alphastream.org and let me know what you think. Thanks, folks.